because our Lord Jesus Christ confirmed to us that the universe did not come into existence through the same kinds of material processes that are going on now. The claim of naturalistic thinkers has been that by studying the same material processes that are going on now, we can explain the origins of stars, galaxies, life, plants, and animals. The reality is that cutting-edge natural science in every discipline has proven to us that, in fact, the starting point of our Lord Jesus Christ and His church, namely that we can't explain the origins of these things in terms of present processes, is far more reasonable. For example, Mr. Nugent mentioned that evolution works through this process of natural selection, but it's easy to prove that natural selection does not produce any new biological information. Where did this biological information come from? Scientists have been looking for more than 50 years for some example of new biological information coming into existence that could explain the appearance of a new organ or a new function. They have found none, zero. So the evidence in genetics agrees with what our Lord Jesus Christ revealed. And we cannot explain the origins of the things that we see in nature in terms of the material processes that are going on now. What's more, the false belief that we can explain the origins of these things through the present processes has been the biggest disaster that ever happened to natural science. I only have time to give you one example. Beginning in the 1970s, it became mainstream in biology to argue that the 97% of the human genome that does not code for protein was junk. The reason? It was logical that since we didn't understand the function, it must be a holdover from all those millions of years of evolution. This is one of hundreds of examples I could give you where this faith in uniformitarian naturalism retarded scientific progress. When the Human Genome Project was finally launched, it was discovered that virtually all of the quote-unquote junk DNA is functional. Now, who knew that the quote-unquote junk DNA would be functional? The people who believed in the Christian revelation. Because scientists who work within that framework presume stable form and function throughout nature. Naturalists have come to presume flux and dysfunction. This is why 100 years ago, it was mainstream in the natural sciences to argue that there were over 100 vestigial organs in the human body, including the appendix, the tonsils, and so on. This retarded scientific progress. It was the people who worked within the creation framework provided by Christianity who knew that this couldn't possibly be true, because God created man as man and woman as woman in the beginning with all their organs. These were the people who pushed to investigate the function of the appendix, the tonsils, and the other quote-unquote vestigial organs. They were the true pioneers, the ones who advanced science, because every single one of those vestigial organs has now been found to be fully functional. Who advanced science? The people who believed in the creation framework. Who retarded science? The people who believed in this false naturalistic framework. The greatest proof, however,